Oh, that's a damn good cup of coffee. But you know what would go good with this cup of coffee? A delicious donut. A Krispy Kreme donut. It's morphin' time. What's going on, friends? It's the Red Power Ranger himself, Logan Myerz, here from Cinephellas.com to review 2017's The Power Rangers. As you can imagine, most of us here, grew up in the 80s and 90s. We're big fans of the original TV show that aired on Fox and all the crazy and cheesiness of the show. But fast forward to 2017, with the big screen adaptation of this story, it's taken a different and darker approach. Dean Israelite is the director of the film. You may be familiar with his movie Project Almanac that came out in 2015. But this film takes a different approach. It's more of a backstory about these teenagers and how they become the Power Rangers. You still have Trini, Zach, Billy, Jason, and Kimberly. So it starts off kind of like the Breakfast Club. They're rebellious teenagers. They had to go to detention on Saturday morning, and you kind of know their backstories of why they're in detention, and they're all rebellious. And that's the first time that Jason comes across Kimberly and Billy. Billy is like the nerd kid, and probably one of my favorite characters in the movie. He was outstanding as Billy. Jason was good, and also Kimberly. They're all badass in their own way. So Billy and Jason kind of become friends, and Billy needs his help after detention on that Saturday night. So Jason is under house arrest for whatever he did and goes to help Billy out. And they end up at this mine in the town they live in, and there's a big explosion, and all the characters kind of are in the same place at the same time. And they find these coins, and they're like, what the fuck is this? They're lighting up with the different colors of blue, red, and pink, and yellow. So after finding these coins, they got to get out of this mine because it's this big explosion, and the cops are coming, and they have like a near-death experience, and they wake up the next day wondering what the fuck happened and why they're super strong and had these superhero powers. Is it the coin, or is it something else? So as the ragtag team of teenagers go back to this mine, they find something that they didn't expect. They find these caves, and then it leads to, the story of Zordon and Alpha 5. And it's a really cool, like, aquatic underwater scene that they go into, and it ends up in a cave, and it's like a spaceship, and they're like, what the fuck is this place? But that's where Bill Hader's Alpha 5 comes into play, and he was less annoying than the TV show. He was kind of comedic and funny at times. But he's like, Zordon. And, Bryan Cranston was excellent as Zordon. He did some voiceover work for the original TV show in the 90s and has, linked to Saban Entertainment. So it was cool they brought him back for this film, and he actually did it. And his character is the floating head. It's a little different. There's more CGI and this big screen that kind of follows the team around. But it's kind of funny because in the movie, Billy, his name is Billy Cranston, and obviously Bryan Cranston was in the original show, so they kind of used the name as an homage to Mr. Cranston, which I would do too, Mr. White. So that was cool. They incorporated that. But furthermore, they start training. They find out about Rita Repulsa, and her goals to end the world is to bring this Goldor monster and take over the world and get these crystals, and the teenagers have to train and figure out how they become the Power Rangers. They have to morph. How do they do this? So there's some training scenes where they're fighting these holograms, and they're learning how to fight and get the shit kicked out of them. But the first and second act is really character development and getting these teenagers to trust each other, become friends, because they're strangers. They don't know each other that well. A few of them went to school together, but they're not friends. So they're trying to bring them together and build this character development and kind of show their backstories and a different take of these characters that we haven't seen, which was really well done. I kind of like this approach in the movie. You know, and Zordon is telling the Power Rangers about this Rita Repulsa. She used to be on Zordon's team. She was a ranger, and she turned her back on the Rangers to take over the world and wanted to get these crystals. So she's evil, and she washes up on this fishing boat. And the fisherman picks her up and is like, what the fuck is this? And she's all like gross and like looks like a zombie. And then she actually comes back to life, and she's like, "Ooh, the Rangers!" Ah! Like over the top a little bit. It kind of reminded me of the Wicked Witch in a way. She's like, "The Power Rangers, where are they?" As the Power Rangers are training, ready for battle, waiting for Rita, they finally come across her and actually see her and see what she's capable of doing. Capable of killing anybody that she wants. And her overall goal was to get all this gold and create this gold ore monster to take over the world. And there's like scenes in the movie where she gets like the gold caps from people's teeth, and like she goes to a gold store and steals all the gold necklaces, and she's like melting it to this monster with her big staff. And sometimes it's ridiculous, but it's, entertaining at the same time because it's the Power Rangers. You don't take it too seriously. And like I was saying, the first two acts are really well done. They're excellent. And when you get to the third act where the teenagers morph into the Power Rangers and they're in their big Zords and like the pterodactyl and these big monsters that they're driving, it gets a little ridiculous. It kind of loses the momentum of the story because it's super dark and compelling, and then it goes into this like transition of them fighting. And honestly, the climactic scene was probably the worst part of the movie, honestly. There's so much development into these characters, and when they finally morph and become the Power Rangers, it's just a little ridiculous, and the action scenes aren't really all there. I understand what they're trying to do, but it just looked like a copy and paste of Transformers movies where it's like stop, and then you like the 360, and then like, I don't know. I didn't buy it, and the story kind of just went downhill from there. And an intricate part of the story is Krispy Kreme donuts in the town they live in. I won't say much about that, but you can kind of guess as to what's hidden at Krispy Kreme donuts. And it felt like it was an infomercial for the for the company, and that was kind of weird, but whatever. I guess it kind of worked. Well, overall, I really did enjoy Power Rangers. I'm a huge fan as a kid. It was one of my favorite TV shows growing up. The first two acts of the film were excellent, really great. Actors were great across the board of all these the different teenagers, and they had really good chemistry together. And the story was great and compelling, and a different take as to how they become these Power Rangers. And with the use of Bryan Cranston as Zordon and Bill Hader as Alpha 5, I think it really worked. It was a nice, refreshing surprise, I guess. I didn't really go in with high expectations, but I really enjoyed it up until the third act where it just got silly, but that was only for about 15 minutes. And that's really the only complaint I had about the movie. It kind of just took a downward spiral in the third act of the action sequences. Overall, I'm going to give Power Rangers a 3 out of 5 hair pieces. Again, I want to thank all of you for watching our YouTube channel, our videos, reviews, and keeping up to date with us on movie and TV news and reviews on Cinephellas.com and our social media outlets. And remember, in 2 days, we'll be giving away a free copy of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. So remember to use hashtag #FellasGiveaway and enter for your chance to win this free Blu-ray. We'll send it right to you. So, thanks for watching. This is Logan Myerz signing out from Cinephellas. Cheese!